my, this guy's 1v9! Yo, we lost! We lost.
This is chapter 1, and if you're already high level Urshifu, this section doesn't hold as much information as later ones. I see this question a lot. What is your build? What are your emblems? And to be honest with you, it doesn't matter that much. Items don't make up your core gameplay, but the way you pick them can still help you decide your playstyle. Let's touch up on Water Bear first. Razor Claw is mandatory on this build. In the past, I used to preach that the scope lens is better, but Razor's slow and guaranteed extra damage after every skill outweighs scope lens. The slow is also mandatory for lane Dark Bear because without orange buff to slow, sometimes enemies can simply walk away from your Wicked Blow range. This lands it on the top of S tier, and yes, the items are ordered in their category. Next we have Muscle Band. It's incredibly strong since Rapid Strike Boosted is a 2-hit combo, making it proc twice after every Surging Strikes. But it isn't always mandatory. It's a very strong item for both Urshifu forms to use to rip objectives and help his overall clear speed. Dark Bear also likes this item because of the attack speed. It relies on its boosted autos to stick to enemies. Energy Amplifier is next. Both forms utilize it well, and currently it is my final item of choice for most of my Water Bear games. The damage amplification doesn't last very long, as it's only 4 seconds, but Urshifu's strongest when it has its Unite move available, so that combined with its cooldown reduction makes it a strong option. Weakness policy is self-explanatory. The percent damage boost after getting hit has almost no drawback, since both forms like brawling and taking hits. It can be utilized extremely effectively in a blind pick if you're unsure which form you're going to choose until you see an enemy composition. Charging Charm is next, and it's surprisingly good for both bears. Rapid Start can build it up incredibly quickly, thanks to its boosted effectively giving you 18 stacks instead of 9. You can also substitute Muscle Band for it, as if the enemies are more squishy, it will do more damage overall. For Dark Bear, its damage doesn't build up nearly as fast, but since it's a burst character, it just makes securing more objectives or kills with a Charm Wicked Blow easier. Attack Weight is the most interesting case, as I think it's a bit overrated for an item on a central carry. Sometimes it's best to gank the other lane or head back for your buffs instead of staying for extra damage. Although for lane Urshifu, this item is a must-have. Scope Lens is best used on Dark Bear, as Water Bear's criticals aren't as strong, so you gain much less benefit from it. Wicked Blow boosted up by attack weight, weakness policy, and Scope Lens hits incredibly hard. Curse Bangle isn't a great item, but for Water Bear it can work since enemies will try to fight you on Go Zone for healing and shield that you can then decrease. Drain Crown is an item that I actually like to run when I have teammates going Sweet Kiss Comfey, as it allows me to sustain more while enemies are infatuated with me. In any other case, this item isn't worth it. Rapid Fire Scarf allows for very fast boosted autos, but Muscle Man does this with the added max self damage, so it gets that class entirely. The items in C through E tier are all just things you could run in Urshifu, but you won't be carrying as hard as you need to. Onto battle items. Full Heal is mandatory on Water Bear against teams that have notable stuns. Examples are Gardevoir Unite Move, Clefable Gravity. Do not run this item on Dark Bear. It already has Unstoppable. But since it's so good on Water Bear, it gets an S tier rating. X Attack is amazing for mobile players. If you're not fighting much CC or if you have a Safeguard Blissey backing you up, I'd run this on Water Bear all of the time. This is also my item of choice for Dark Bear jungle, since the eject button tech is a lot harder for me to do on a phone. If you're going into constant blind picks of Urshifu and are already good at both forms, pick this item. But if you're not on a phone, eject button Dark Bear is almost always the way to go. You can easily surprise someone with a charged up Wicked Blow. This is also effective extending Water Bear's range on Surging Strikes. Now we have Potion. It isn't that bad, since Urshifu is fairly bulky, you'll often be making use of it. On Water Bear it's alright, but you become more susceptible to stuns. It's also stronger on Dark Bear, since it isn't easy to heal yourself and you can use it to increase your bulk because of damage reduction. But why heal if everyone's already dead, right? Now this seems like a really low placement for X speed, but it's only down here because of how abysmal it is on Water Bear. Don't use it, please. It's a different story on Dark Bear though, because when you're charging up, you become slower, and X speed can supplement you back up to normal. It'd be an A tier item if this list was only about single strike, but this is for Urshifu in general. You may be wondering why I place Full Heal at S tier if this was about Urshifu, but I guess Dark Bear can run it in some scenarios if there's that much CC. The rest of the battle items are self-explanatory. They're pretty bad on Urshifu, so just don't use them at all. Alright, on the emblems. Alright, well, what emblem should you even run on Urshifu? Well, I'll show you what I currently have set up, and then tell you the thought process behind both of these. Physical health is a standard build. You want a lot of HP because your healing is based on your max HP. This makes the laning phase a lot easier, and you should always use this on Dark Bear, but should you run this on Water Bear? It's a maybe. See, with Water Bear, it greatly benefits from the extra health, but there's also the maximum cooldown emblem of 7 black. While the difference is almost unnoticeable, when you get in later into the match and need Surging Strikes more, it's overall more useful. However, Amplifier for cooldown reduction instead of black emblems does the exact same thing, but better. So, which is better? I think I'll give the ever so slight edge to the health set, as you get additional healing and a better level 5 gank. Your combos don't become all that much faster with 7 black anyway, so you're not really missing out. But if you still prefer Black Emblem Urshifu, all the power to you. Before we close off the basic chapter, let's talk about the combination of builds. This time we'll take a look at Dark Bear first. For your lane, attack weight, scope lens, Razor Claw is strong. I think Razor and scope are pretty non-negotiable, but if you want to run something instead of attack weight, if you're not good at stacking, feel free to do so. In jungle, Dark Bear sticks with scope lens, but you can drop Razor Claw now since orange buff will be able to apply slow to all of your moves. I'm not a big fan of stacking jungle, so scope lens and weakness policy and muscle bait is just my choice for the jungle set. Take X speed on lane or in jungle if you're mobile, and take eject button if you're on switch. Or take X attack if you're me and you're built different. On Water Bear, there's the Old Reliable build and the Team Wiper build. Old Reliable consists of Razor Claw, Muscle Band, and Weakness Policy. This is what most tournament players use, and it's pretty simple and effective. If you're picking up this character, or you just want to play him after watching my content, try this first. But my personal preference as of now is the same first 2 items, Razor Claw, Muscle Band, but instead of Weakness Policy, I use Amplifier. As an experienced Urshifu player, I know when I can or cannot wipe an entire game with my Unite move. If you're very good at Urshifu, you'll be able to hypercarry a lot harder with this set. That about wraps up the build section. If you're wondering about my mathematically correct Urshifu build of stacking attack weight central Urshifu, that's what I use to farm damage and rank. If you're still here, congratulations! You're past the beginner lessons and are ready for the next step. Keep in mind that these first 2 chapters won't make you an insane Urshifu player, but will provide useful information. At level 1, Kubfu gains a 15% tenacity value, meaning stuns will hinder you for shorter. Your boosted auto attacks do 130% of your damage and can be used to blink through walls. Rock Smash has 5 stages of damage that maxes out at your indicator and is your best tool to try and secure farm. It's pretty weak for secure, but also gives 20% damage reduction when you hold it. And if you're needing to get away, you can continuously hold it without actually using it to save yourself more often. Headbutt is a slow startup dash move that can stun. It's just a really bad early version of Throat Chop, but it's pretty useful on Water Bear. I actually don't immediately replace it when I'm playing Rapid Strike, as the extra mobility can help sticking to a target for the chain combo. A useful tip is to use this to stop the buff abilities when they're active. Urshifu's passive is Unseen Fist, and just like the mainline games, it hits to protect. In this case, that's shield. Now, Urshifu doesn't do true damage. What it does is take 30% of the damage you do to shield and applies that to the main health bar. Single Strike's boosted auto is the same as Kubfu's, but it's stronger. It deals more damage and grants your shield based off your attack for 3 seconds. Rapid Strike boosted auto hits twice and reduces all move cooldowns by 2 seconds. Fun fact, without items, Kubfu's boosted auto attack is actually stronger than Rapid Strike's. This, however, isn't taking into account Muscle Band. By itself, this doesn't heal you either. That actually comes from Surging Strikes, but we'll get to that soon. Wicked Blow gives you 20% damage reduction, putting it on par with Rock Smash. If it hits a target, Urshifu will gain a boosted auto attack. The charged version deals center and conal damage, the center always hitting critically, which is why Scope Lens is so strong. It deals 10% missing HP damage with a 1200 damage cap on wild Pokemon. The conal shape deals 5% missing HP damage, caps out at 600. If you don't charge this move, meaning not going over the threshold, you'll be refunded 50% of its cooldown. Wicked Blow Plus increases damage reduction to 40% while charging it. Surging Strikes is a 3-part move, and after each usage you gain a boosted auto that recovers 2% of your max HP after being used. The ending kick at the end is a longer dash distance and can knock up enemies. Making sure you use all of your boosted auto attacks before moving on to the next Surging Strikes is the difference between a bad water bear and a competent one. Surging Strikes Plus gives you 30% damage reduction during your dash. Throat Chop is a long dash that stuns for 0.7 seconds. Urshifu gains a boosted auto after this move regardless if you hit someone or not. Throat Chop Plus reduces this move's cooldown by 2 seconds after every Wicked Blow. This can be a tap or a fully charged one. Liquidation deals a small area of effect damage that increases enemy defense by 30% for 2 seconds. It also grants Urshifu a shield that's based on how many people are hit. Liquidation Plus reduces the cooldown by 1 second. Ebon Fist, the main draw of Dark Bear. It's a point and lock move that travels you to the enemy. You will punch any enemy a few meters into your move stick's direction. If you don't touch your move stick at all, you'll uppercut them instead, giving you a free Wicked Blow Throat Chop combo. This will also reset Wicked Blow's cooldown immediately after you've used it. Guarantee you can use the combo. Urshifu can be stunned while using Ebon Fist, but he gains no additional damage reduction from it, so you're still killable while doing it. So don't get too overconfident when singling someone out, especially when their teammates are nearby. The directional input, as I like to call it, Ebon Shatter, has a few things about it that I like. First, that it actually does splash damage. Although not as much as the main target, it still does it. The uppercut actually does less immediate damage than the Shatter version. You can even kill someone by punching something into them. Also, the Shatter version actually gets refunded if you die after the enemy full heals out of it. If you know the enemy has full heal, you can always shatter them first and get it refunded back for a second engagement. What turns Rapid Strike Urshifu from good to great? There's a lot of cool things to talk about this move and its properties, so let's talk about the less known stuff. When you first use this move, you actually become unstoppable. This is basically a full heal. This initial activation also does shove in a minuscule amount of damage. I've actually had a game where me popping my out secured a Talonflame, but sadly I don't have that recorded. When you go into combo state, your CDR is reduced by 30% and you get a 30% movement speed increase and 20% max HP shield. This is on all rounders by the way, but it's more important on Water Bear. Your cooldown becomes so low, it looks like you have infinite Surging Strikes. Every 2 hits of the combo adds up to an extra 1 hit during the final follow-up attack, capping out an extra 10 hits. If the enemy gets out of your range while it's happening, the combo just stops. However, this has a strange property to it. This follow-up attack keeps going after death, and you can also use it to sit inside the enemy's base. The first one is practical, but the second one is straight up disrespectful. It's also incredibly funny, since Urshifu is the only Pokemon that can actually sit in the enemy base. During the follow-up combo, you gain 30% damage reduction and you're unstoppable to even dying, so yeah. Here's a few texts regarding the 2 Unite moves. Urshifu's Ebon Fist actually cancels some unstoppables. The follow-up of Flowing Fist can redirect some moves. This includes Overheat, Cryo Close Combat, and Decidueye. Why this happens I have no idea, but it's information regardless. So, update to this while I've been making this video. As September 27th, Flowing Fist no longer affects unstoppable moves. It was a bug. Yeah, so you can't do that stuff anymore. Alright, we're finally at the final chapter. Thanks for sticking with me, I really appreciate it. These first 2 chapters was to familiarize you with the basic Urshifu stuff. Now we're getting into the pro level, so you're gonna want to pay attention. Let's look at the enemy team comp. Absol, Azumarill, Yaskarada, Lapras, and Cramorant. Ask yourself this, would you run Dark Bear or Water Bear into this team? On one hand, Urshifu can handle their tank just fine. Lapras doesn't have a good matchup in the Urshi like other defenders do. Water Bear can tear it apart pretty easily, because it can't really disrupt your combo all too often. But as you can see, there's a bigger threat at hand. Absol. Absol's actually a strong Pokemon right now, and Dark Bear is a very strong pick into it. So I'm left with the choice, do I want to counterpick their very middling tank, or do I counterpick their Hyper Carry? I think that choice alone makes it pretty obvious that I should be going Dark Bear here, but there's also the chance that the Cramorant runs Dive, and that might mess me up if I play Water Bear. As you can see from my 5 ganks, I play really patiently when I come in with Dark Bear. When you're 5 ganking as Dark Bear, you want to be patient and wait in the bushes, because without Throat Chop, you lack the mobility to chase opponents down. In this moment, I was able to step in close enough to barely hit Absol with the edge of my Wicked Blow. After that kill, I go straight for the 840 Bowl Toys, then to my jungle to get my level 7. When you're playing Dark Urshifu, you want to prioritize getting your level 7 and your level 9. A good time goal to aim for is getting your level 7 by mid-birds and your level 9 by bottom Reggie fight. Here, I know the enemies are waiting in the bush, so I go to score to bait them out. Here, I see the perfect opportunity to use Ebon Shatter to punch Cramorant into Lapras, killing them both. Here's another example of why the Shatter version is actually pretty strong. In this situation, Cramorant has Unstoppable, and my uppercut won't actually knock him out of his ult. So if I do the uppercut, he'll end up getting another hit on me, guaranteeing that I'll die. So instead, I go for the directional input, knowing there's a higher chance I'll actually kill him. Since Wicked Blow can only be held for 4 seconds, I like to wait till the last 20% of the boss's HP to actually start charging it. Because if Wicked Blow goes over the 4-second charge up, it will be on cooldown for the next 7 seconds, meaning you probably won't have it for the last hit. In this situation, we're only a few seconds away from Ray Fight, and my ult's only at 50%. Instead of taking Ray Fight and risking my life for my teammates to flip the objective, I decide to go farm my ult more. In some situations, it's actually better to go help your team fight, instead of going back to your jungle to farm your Unite move. But since they had Armor Cannon Armor Rouge, I wasn't too sure if our team could secure this at all. So here, I thought getting Flowing Fist was more important so I could actually break their shields when they got them. Their Clefable managed to secure their objective, and with all 5 of them alive. I decide to target down Goodra of my Unite, making sure he doesn't get the chance to score. Armor Rouge scores bottom for 100 points, but we managed to kill Mew. I go for the engage on Armor Rouge, but since he's ulted me, I don't have enough health to fight back. If I die here, trying to help the Sylveon will definitely lose, so I decide to back and go heal off my farm. I go in knowing we have Safeguard up and manage to poke them with some damage, but Glissio unfortunately dies. But here, I manage to get the opportunity to pop my X attack and kill their attacker. Their Clefable runs from the Goodra, because they don't have gravity, they won't be able to stop me from killing him. Our Leafeon had to back to heal and base, but if I wait for him for a second push, their DPS characters like Gary and Armor Rouge could respawn, and we won't be able to keep pressuring them. I go straight for Mew here, zoning them away from the Clefable's healing while Leafeon finishes them off. Both evolutions can now chase me away, giving me time to score my 100 for a 97 overcap. Because of this, we managed to win the game by 2 points. If I had ran into Rayfight without my ult, I would have died, and we would have lost to flip the armor rouge. But since instead I took my buffs to get my flowing fist, we managed to win the game against 5 people with Ray Shield. In this example, because of my lock-on setting, I'm able to see Gyarados on my screen for the split second he comes into the bush. Knowing this, I wait for my teammates to come to this bush before engaging to the fight. Hoopa pops his Unite here, and I'm assuming it's Rayfight, so after my Surging Strikes comes off cooldown, I turn on my ult for the 30% CD reduction. We killed 3, but I'm low, and our Blissey Unite moved me out of panic, so instead of going the rip, I instead grab my buffs again. I heal a little bit off where using Surging Strikes and also build up my counter. Instead of helping my team deal with the Gyarados or the Mamoswine, I go straight for the Dragapult instead. You want to prioritize the squishy Pokemon first that do a lot of damage. Because of this, they lose a lot of damage and I'm able to clean up Hoopa and Leafeon. And since I'm simply better, I managed to dodge the Dragon Breath, making sure I win the 1v1 of high health. And with 4 of them dead and only their tank remaining, I start ripping the objective. In this situation, my best secure tool is my 3rd Surging Strikes, since it does more damage and it does a critical hit. I managed to time it perfectly, securing us the game. Well, that was the end of the guide. If you're looking for more information on what to do about invading, check out my videos I've already uploaded. And if you want to learn how to do the Surging Strikes combo better, check my automation cancel video. Thank you for watching, and also thank you for your patience. Good luck out there, Hershey mains.